Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a trying new makeup. I have some odds and ends that I want to test out. So of course I will link everything down below. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. So I've got you zoomed in a little bit more. I want to start with the lip product. It is storming here, so it's gonna be probably a loud thunder. We have lightning, we have a flood watch. It's been raining. If you know, you know. If you live in the Midwest. So hopefully I don't lose power. But I have this new Fenty Beauty lip product that I purchased. So this is supposed to be their lip luminizer. It comes in 2 different shades, and it says to apply and then let sit for 15 minutes for color enhancing effect to fully develop. Watch the gloss leave a light tint as the, color wears. So I got the pink shade, of course, which is Pink Blink. So I thought we would try this out because I am a lip stain fanatic. Oh, this feels like a gloss, which I was not anticipating. This feels like a Hydro Bomb glosses. There's so many gloss formulas now, I can't even remember. It smells just like them. It's a little bit less shiny than her glosses. From what I remember, it has like a gel hybrid kind of feel to it, but I didn't anticipate it being like a gloss, like hydrating. Usually these are like, watery tints and then they calm down, but this feels like a traditional lip gloss, which is a little bit unique to the market. So if it leaves a stain, I think a lot of people really might like this. And while we let this sit, I did want to thank Midi for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I feel so strongly about them. I love working with them. I've worked with them so many times now, and I'm even in my normal life telling my friends and family about them because they are life-changing. If you're not familiar, Midi Health is a virtual care clinic founded by women, specifically for women. It's also covered by insurance where available in all 50 states. So if you've noticed those midlife changes like brain fog, insomnia was huge for me, and anxiety for no reason at all, like sitting on my couch, heart palpitations, wondering what was going on, but all of my annual labs were normal. That's where Midi really changed it for me. So they offer something called the Age Well service, and that connects you with a clinician who specializes in women's health to track beyond basic labs. So they do quarterly checks of hormones, thyroid, cholesterol, blood sugar, and inflammation. So there's actual data to create a custom plan with targeted supplements specifically catered to you. They also do retesting and follow-ups to see what's working and what they need to tweak based on facts and not guesswork. And for me personally, I had struggled with depression, anxiety, insomnia, all of the things, but they had been ramping up for really no reason in the past couple years. And the light bulb moment for me, or the wake up call, I guess you would say, would be when I was hospitalized in 2024 because I had a panic attack sitting on my couch. And that led to like 3 days in the hospital. It was very scary, but a wake-up call for me that my anxiety was completely out of control. My nervous system was like in overdrive, fight or flight, even at my house for no reason. So I looked into the possibilities, and that's where I found Midi, and I was really afraid at first. I actually got my HRT from my clinician prescribed, and I didn't take it for the first few months because I was so afraid. I met with her again for a follow-up, and she encouraged me based on what I was dealing with to try it. And it has been honestly just game-changing for me personally. And I love that it's super convenient. So if you are someone like me, again, that just like last minute, you're like, oh, I need to do this. I want to get in quickly. Everything is virtual. They have openings often within a few days. So you don't have to wait months to get in, to get a referral, all of the headaches that we are all used to dealing with. My anxiety is so much more controlled, and my sleep is so much better. I just feel more calm overall, and that's a priceless feeling if you know what it feels like to have anxiety, heart palpitations, panic attacks, and you don't even know why. So I just cannot rave about them enough. It's truly, truly changed my quality of life, and I was shouted from the rooftops because I think they are that special and women deserve to know about them. So I will have a link at the top of my description box and in a pinned comment to book your first Age Well visit with Midi. I just highly recommend it if you have any concerns, anything that's worrying you, anything that you feel like might be off. It is absolutely worth advocating for yourself to get the help that you deserve. So that will be the link at the top of my description box and pinned comment, and let's go ahead and get into some new makeup. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. I want to wipe this off just to see what stain is left. These storms are not playing around. Okay, so you can see that it came off, but I still feel like there's a pretty nice stain on. So I want to see how it lasts as we go through. So far, I'm pretty impressed just because it's very hydrating. It's not like those little like watery tints that sometimes can seep into your lips and almost dry them out. It just feels like nothing, but there is a stain. So I have a new perfume that was sent to me in PR. I want to pivot to that. So this is new from Ellis Brooklyn. Let me go ahead and pull up the notes on this. This is the Plum Tonic fragrance. So this has notes of plum nectar, sparkling mandarin, iris flower, and sugared musks. They do say that it's a warm and sweet gourmand. I definitely get that fizzy note. It feels a little bit like a tart fizz, almost like a cocktail if you think of like cranberry juice. It doesn't have a floral scent at all to me. It just feels almost like a tart, sweet, fizzy type of scent. Think of like acai or plum, something like that, but then it does have that sugared musk that adds a little bit of like warmth and softness to it. But I would say if you like a sweet scent, if you like a fruity scent, a fizzy scent, you will like this. It's not as gourmand as a lot of the other gourmands though. So I do like it. I just, you know, I don't know if it's gonna be like my holy grail, but I like sickly, sickly sweet. That's sweet, but not sickly sweet. So I zoomed you in even more. I wanna try out these Velvet Flick Longwear Wing and Waterline eyeliner pencils from Half Magic. So they sent me all of the shades. I actually bought one before they sent them to me, but this is supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be great for the waterline or the lash line, 16-hour waterproof wear. And it does say that it is able to be smudged, but you have to move quickly before it sets. So I just wanted to show you a couple shades. It has that slanted tip if you have seen the new NYX, and this is the like light cream shade that I would use in my waterline. This one is Sand Fairy. I will say the names are really hard to read. They wrap around the actual component. I also have this one that is a deep brown. This is called Cinefox. These also have that like click up, so you don't want to go too far because you can't click them back down. So I want to see how this sets. And then I have more of like a cooler, lighter brown called Wolf Mood. I mean, they feel really creamy, very thin, very pigmented. So I wanted to try this on my upper lash line. I think I'm gonna go with the cooler one, which would be the, is it called Wolf Mood? I also do like how the packaging has the color on it, so it's easy to grab. So let me pull my mirror in close. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this on my lid and then go quickly in with a brush to see what kind of playtime we have. It does say quickly before it sets, but I feel like that actually did blend fine. It didn't feel like it was too stiff. Sometimes these that you have to move quickly, they literally mean like you don't even have 2 seconds. Wow. That was easy, like very easy. I'm just building depth underneath and then I'll clean up. That might be the easiest liner that I've ever used, genuinely, to smoke out. Wow. I want to see. I mean, these, they're not moving. Let's try with a white. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would say they're like hard to get off. So long wear, I'm anticipating based on trying to remove that. I'm gonna take this. It's really nice that you have this like slanted applicator. I usually don't bring this across, but I'm just gonna try it. I am shocked how quick that was. Usually when I do that, I lose the definition on the lower portion and I just have to keep building it, and then it's hard to get it to like smudge seamlessly but also still be there. That was incredibly user-friendly. So I went ahead and put on some mascara and prepped my skin. I did use my Bioma Milky Toner that I absolutely swear by, and then also the Revi Barrier Cream. Again, those are just like my go-tos. And then I did use the Clio mascara. But I don't have a new foundation other than the Hung Van Gogh that I'm continuing to test. I am really impressed with this. I have the shades 6 and 8, so I just mix them together. You need the smallest amount. It is so beautiful on the skin. Such a good coverage. Kennedy, what's up here? She's like, excuse me. She just comes over and starts, you know, panting and jumping up. What do you think? I need to get like a little bench next to me so she can sit. What do you think? Okay, so I'm gonna try to blend this out. But this is such a beautiful coverage. It's so lightweight. It has like a radiant finish, but it's not greasy or heavy. I think I made that a little bit too dark. I'm gonna add a little bit of the 6 in. But I wore this yesterday all day and it wore so well. I feel like the only thing I noticed with the wear on this one is that after probably like 8 hours or so, it can get a little bit clingy to dryness around your mouth. But I am using Tret, so it could be that as well. So this is what the Hung Van Gogh foundation looks like. It just really wears beautifully. I am really enjoying it so far, but I don't have a new cream bronzer, so I'm gonna use my Say bronzer in Swim. I do have a new brush that I purchased. This is the e.l.f., I think it's a dupe for the Makeup by Mario, which is one of my favorite brushes. This was hard to get, so if I can find it, I will link it, but it has dual ends on it, which I'm preferring more often. It has a smaller side I use for blush and then a larger size for a bronzer. So I'm just gonna put this on my hand. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go in with the Sarah Creel cream bronzer. This is in the shade 2.0. It's not quite as warm, and I have a blush that's really cool tone that I want to try today. So I'm gonna try this brush out and see what we think. I love the Makeup by Mario brush. I have, I don't know, maybe like 4, so if this is similar. Okay, so first impression, this feels a little bit more prickly on this side. Almost like the hairs are, I guess, a little bit different lengths, but it's blending out just as easy. I wanna say this was like $9, and I think the Makeup by Mario is 20 something. Next, I wanna go in with this blush that I purchased a while back. It was on TikTok Shop exclusively, and then it finally came to the website. This is the ABH Purple Palace Trio. This got hidden. Oh my gosh, if I can open it. And it is so unique to my collection because you have 3 purple shades for a cream blush. I will tell you, this formula is definitely like 2016 makeup formula wise. It's very thin, but it's matte. It doesn't have any glow to it, and it is quite pigmented, so a little goes a long way. So I'm going to use the other side of this brush, and I'm going to start out, I think I'll just mix these 2 shades. This is pretty different even to what I own, so I want to see how this shows up. Okay, very subtle, so I'm going to actually go in for a second layer. This might be one of those trust the process colors. Okay, so this is what the 2 lighter shades look like. I mean, there's no sense in trying it if I'm not gonna actually try it. So I am gonna dip into the deeper purple. I'm gonna dip in and then just put it on the back of my hand so I don't go too crazy. try to keep that a little bit further back. I can't tell if I feel like it's looking like a bruise. I'm gonna swap the brush around and just kind of blend into that cream bronzer. I don't think we're gonna know until I put on concealer, but it does translate lighter than I thought. So if you have like a fair skin tone, I feel like it would really show up more. It's not as like wow in your face as I thought. I'm sure you could get it there, but I am a little bit surprised. I thought it was gonna be like bam. So to bring this look together, I'm excited to try this new concealer that I purchased from Sochi. So this is supposed to be hydrating with a skin-like coverage, buildable formula that does not look cakey, lightweight. I got the shade 3N. This is also available now at Ulta. I love some of the Sochi products, so I am intrigued to give this a go. It is really thin in terms of like how it feels, but it does blend out really like creamy and almost to that like, I don't know, creamy whipped sort of feel. Hopefully it does provide enough coverage because I do want to cover my darkness. So I'm just going to apply this where I normally would. It's a little light for my makeup right now, but we're gonna just make it work. So I'm just gonna start to press this in. I do have dry under eyes. It's like a constant problem for me. So I wanna see that it doesn't enhance anything or like cling to any dryness. That looks pretty good. I would say the coverage is not full, but it definitely looks skin-like. I don't see any clinging, but again, I wanna go into powder next. Blends really, really easily. It's probably not as much of like a full glam type of concealer, but again, we're just trying. But my first impression is pretty good. It does say that it's like a natural finish. I agree with that. And I don't find it to be drying. But again, once we go in with powder, we'll know. I did also want to test this out. This is a new product from Patrick Ta. This is a Major Sculpt and Shade Artistry Stick. So I was kind of thinking like, what do I want to get? Do I want to get a lighter shade or a contour? I feel like I just have so many contours, and really I don't do like a cream contour on my nose or even around my lips. So I wanted to get the lightest shade, which is called Spotlight. Now I am a little concerned because I do have dryness. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. It feels very thin, but it also feels creamy. And then when you blend it, it does seem to go a little bit more powdery, like that cream to powder. It kind of looks like it's enhancing a little bit of dryness, which makes me even more nervous. It does have a brush on one side, so you can, I guess, use this on the go. Let's just try on one side. I feel like the brush just kind of pulled that concealer off. So let's try maybe like mixing it in. I feel like I see a little bit of brightening. I don't know if you can tell. I'll have to watch my footage back, but I just have such finicky under eyes. I'm not sure if it's going to get like cakey. I wanted to maybe try just like a little bit of brightening here. I'm gonna use the concealer brush that I had, because I do tend to pull this down further than I want to. I mean, it blends really easily. And then I'm gonna go in with my bronzing brush, and then I can even take like my foundation brush. I feel like I would use it more for this purpose, just to clean up if I go too low, but it's like, you still want it to look natural. And is it going to add like a dryness under powder? We'll have to see. So since I have all my creams down, I want to go in with powder. I did also pick up, I actually bought quite a few products because I was like, you know what, I just want to do another trying to makeup. There's so much launching, but I'm trying to figure out what I would actually use and what I think you guys are most excited about. So I did end up picking up the Too Faced Peach Powder. This is definitely a throwback. I actually was at the original Peach Party and it was really fun, like really, really fun. I got to meet a lot of other content creators, but they're bringing it back, or they brought it back. It's not exactly the same, but I am excited to try this because their powder before was really nice and smoothing. So I got the shade Peachy Pink, which is the lightest shade. The packaging is really cute. When I opened it, it has this like little roller that looks like a peach pit and it smells like peaches. I don't mind the scent if it's not like gonna choke me, but it is quite strong. This is definitely innovative. I've never seen a roller like this. I mean, that is kind of nice, to be honest, because your puff just gets like coated and you don't have to get all of this powder out. You can kind of use the puff to smooth it on, but I want to make sure I don't have any creasing. And then I want to go, wow, that's brightening. Is that brightening? That seems really, really brightening. Whoa. Like very pigmented, almost like, whoa. Okay, is it looking dry and clinging? I think it possibly is. There goes Kenny. It is clinging a little bit to dryness right in this area, and I'm not sure if that's the powder. It looks pretty good out here, but it's like looking a little dry in there. I'm gonna try on this side with a brush. So just swirl my brush in there, although I do like a puff. That's just what works for me. I feel like when I use a brush, it just doesn't get evenly set and it just doesn't have that same blurring effect. But I would say in this case, it looks better to use a brush. I do think that this is quite brightening, like to the point where I can't use it all over the skin, but I am gonna use it in my T-zone to brighten up. It feels really lightweight. The scent, I mean, it's there. I wouldn't say it's like as intense as the Huda Beauty original, but it's close, especially when I'm getting it like around my nose. So I went ahead and set my entire face with my L'Oreal, the rest of my face. I don't really like how that powder's looking. It looks really dry, but I also just feel like, I don't know if I almost look sick now. I don't know if it's because my lips aren't done, but we're just gonna move on. So I'm gonna go in with this Bosma. This is the medium bronzer. I haven't tried this, but they sent this over to me and I've heard a couple people really like it. Let me swatch it for you. It feels very, very creamy, like immediately creamy. This is the shade medium. Looks like it has, I would say, a very subtle finish to it. It's not flat matte from what I can see. So I'm gonna use a angled brush. I'm not sure if I like that blush on me. Something is just off right now and I can't tell what it is. This bronzer is more pigmented than I thought. Yeah, I don't know if it's just like I think it's the under eye. I think it's the powder and then mixed with the blush. Something is just feeling weird to me. But you know, it's a trying new makeup, so that's how it goes, unfortunately. But this seems nice so far. I'm gonna take a little bit of my L'Oreal powder just to try to lighten things up a little bit here. For highlighter, I'm still testing out this RMS Beauty one. It's very similar to the Dior, but it is not quite as pigmented, specifically the pink and the bronze, and it is lighter in tone. So if you're more fair, this may work for you better, but I'm gonna go in to the pink shade today to try to tie in with that blush. You can do a more subtle application, but you can also make it very pretty and blinding. So it just depends on your preference. So I'm almost using it like as a topper. And then I'm gonna go into the white just to punch it up a little bit more. Why not? We already have so much going on. I'm gonna take the white just down the center of the nose. I did also want to try this Half Magic. There goes Kenny again. Wow, it's gonna be a regular theme in my videos, I can see. Okay, I want to take this and apply this to my waterline. Very pigmented. Sometimes these get a little bit like crusty in my eyes, so I want to see how this sets, because the Marc Jacobs got really crusty and like crumbled up, but this one feels nice on first impression, but we'll have to see how it sets in the waterline. Moving on to lips, I did also purchase one of these Urban Decay lip liners. This is the Staining Brush Lip Liner in it's the Lip Toy. That's what it's called. Okay, in the color Tempt. So I wasn't gonna buy this, but I was just curious. It kind of has like a marker feel, so you can hear the shaker in there, and it actually has a brush tip, like a slanted angled brush. So let's swatch this. It's supposed to stain, but this is interesting because it does look really precise. So let's just apply this lip liner and see what happens. Okay, so it's very precise, but it's almost like if you're trying to do like a winged liner, where it's so precise that you have to be careful. I do think that it would have been really nice if they had on the other side of this put a brush to smudge, because it does seem like there's playtime. Also, I just wanted to see. I mean, it's definitely on there. I want to see if I wipe it away, what kind of stain is left. I mean, it seems pretty intense. This is definitely a darker shade, but I was thinking if it stains, then that's, you know, what I want. I'm just gonna take this brush and try to soften. It does seem like it has a playtime, which is interesting because it does literally feel like a marker. So you would think it wouldn't, but it does seem to soften and blend a little bit even after it's been on there for a couple minutes. So I want to try one of these new ABH Lip Kiss Theory Balms. So I purchased 2 of these, and then my friend purchased one and the shade was too light for her. So let me swatch these for you and then we'll see what color we want to use. So here are the 3 shades. We have Sugar Coat, Fizzy, which is like a sparkling pink, and then Echo is the one that my friend gave me. I'm trying to decide because I want to make this a little bit less intense. Do we just go for Echo? I mean, we might as well. So these are like tinted balms, but they have a lot of pigment. Plus that lip stain underneath is throwing me off. Like I can see the lip stain peeking out. That combo is really pretty though. I mean, I just feel like my makeup's kind of all over the place, but it feels really nice and comfortable. I like that it actually has pigment to it. It doesn't feel super thin, like it's gonna fly all over, but it also doesn't feel overly sticky. So that shade's pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe away the powder. I feel like that Too Faced powder just like, I don't know, made things weird. It's so bright on my under eye that it's like, that lip is pretty intense. I kind of want to try a different lip color. Let me switch this. I still feel like that Fenty is stained, so I'm kind of impressed by that. I can also see the stain left behind from the Urban Decay. I didn't wipe it all the way off, but this is more how I would wear it. That's why I got like a deeper shade. I want to try Sugar Coat from Anastasia. This reminds me kind of the new Fenty lip color that I got. I'm gonna take a little bit of, let's try a little bit of Fizzy. This one's shimmery, but it's like pretty sheer. Ooh, that's pretty. Even though, you know, nothing is like matching. That one is pretty. Shows up like this beautiful shimmer. I do feel like I could use a little bit more blush. I mean, are you surprised? I want to use this Cloud Light diffused blush in Fluff. I just want to bring it in with the lips. These are more pigmented than you think, so less is more. Even the lightest shade. Yeah, I feel like I'm in my Barbie fantasy right now. I mean, I feel like that kind of tied everything in because I'm not trying to do a ton on my eyes. That lip is gorgeous. Wow, I'm shocked because I've seen some swatches and it looks like sheer. Even when you swatch on your hand, I'm like, I can't even see it, but I can see it now. I'm also gonna go back into the RMS palette and I wanna use the pink shade on my inner corner. Like I said, these are more like subtle. They're not quite as intense in terms of like the pigment, so they're more translucent. That's what I'm trying to say. The last product I have is this new setting spray from Sashu Beauty. So they sent this over to me with some other products. This is their Lockstep setting spray. Alcohol-free, long-wearing, natural finish. It says that it's supposed to give a hydrating and ultra-fine mist that delivers comfortable all-day hold. So it says to shake well. Let's see what kind of spritzer we have here. I mean, it feels nice and fine. It doesn't smell like anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this. That mister is really nice. It's like very fine, but directed, so it hits you right where you want it to. Sometimes those really fine mists, you have to get like right up close. This one is really, really nice. I feel like I immediately look just a little bit more glowy, like everything has melted in. It did kind of help or fix that under eye. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look, trying out some new products. I have some duds, but I have some that I'm really impressed by. So the Fenty Beauty is definitely a standout to me. I was not anticipating this being anything special, but I love that it has that gloss formula. If you're someone that likes to wear a lip liner or a lip liner stain, and you like a gloss, you like that hydrated feel, but you want it to wear off so you don't just have a lip liner, but an actual stain underneath your lip gloss or lipstick, I think this is really nice. The color is a kind of bright pink, and I still saw it even after applying, reapplying, applying, reapplying. So I think this is unique. I would like to see more shades because both of them do appear quite pink. I don't mind that, but I would like to see more shades in this, and I do believe that this is unique just because I've not seen a gloss truly have a stain to it. So really impressed by that. As I said, I really like the Hung Van Go. I feel like a little goes a long way. It is full coverage, wears really well. I find it to be lightweight. I like the way that it feels because it sets down, but it doesn't have a matte finish. It's not overly luminous in my opinion, but it does have more of like that natural kind of radiant glow to it. And it wears really nicely, plays well with powder. So I really like that. I'm quite impressed by the Half Magic liners. I think these are really easy to smudge out. Of course, I do a pretty intense wing, but if you don't and you just want a little bit of smudging and that lasting power, this was very easy to use. In terms of the waterline, it's too early to tell, but I actually prefer the one on my lid. It just blended so easily. So I think these are gonna be a hit. The Too Faced powder. The scent is a little much for me, and the packaging I do love though. Like I have to say the packaging is a 10 out of 10. I love how they added this little roller in there. I wonder if other brands will hop onto that because it's really easy to get the product out without it flying all over. The scent is a little over the top. My issue is if you have dryness, fine lines, dry patches, this definitely will cling, and it is much more pigmented and brightening than I anticipated. It feels very thin, it does blur, but I don't think it blurs as much as my L'Oreal. I'm gonna have to play around with this because I would like to have something like this for a brightening purpose. I wonder how this would be if I set all of my face and then just went in with this in a brush kind of format and then tapped it on my under eye and like where I want to brighten up. So the tone's really pretty, but I don't know if it's gonna cling to all of my dryness. I won't be able to work with it. So I'll have to update on that. The ABH blush trio, this is really interesting because I don't have any colors like this. And this is again like that 2016 makeup. I do feel like this is lighter than I thought, but a little bit more forgiving as well, which is a good thing. If you have a fair light skin tone, this is gonna look so pretty on you, like these two shades. I know Prada's coming out with a color like, I would say more like this one. So this might be an alternative. And then you have this purple shade to amp it up. And I found that it wasn't as scary as I thought it was. But they definitely have, specifically these two shades, they definitely have like a white base. So if you're, you know, deeper complected, I don't know if that's gonna work for you. And in terms of the Patrick Ta, I'm gonna have to play with this more. I feel like because I have all that dryness on my under eye, I can be quite finicky with products there, but I did like it underneath to clean up and brighten. So that's probably how I will use this more so. I do want to try this out more, maybe like on the brow bone, maybe on the inner corner, a little bit heavier with a concealer I know I love. So I do think this is interesting. Do you need it? No. I mean, you don't need anything. It's very creamy and it blends nicely. But again, my under eyes are just very finicky. And speaking of that, I do like this concealer. I think that it's more of a natural everyday concealer though. So not a full glam concealer. It's lightweight, but it has this nice creaminess to it that kind of has that like whipped feel. And I would say that it's like on the low end of medium in terms of coverage. It did say it was buildable. I do want to try it out, but this would be something that I would use most days because it is hydrating. I didn't notice any clinging. So I like it. I just would have liked a little bit more coverage for, you know, full glam, but again, for every day, I think it would work. And I do think the Bosma is a nice formula. I had a lot going on, so I feel like I need to try this more, but very creamy. It's not powdery and more pigmented, as I'm about to throw it, more pigmented than I thought. And if you wanted to get the Makeup by Mario, I believe it's the F4, but you didn't want to spend the money, this is very similar. I feel like the smaller side is basically identical. The larger side has a little bit more of like a stipple feel, but it gets you where you want to be. And I am all about dual-ended brushes because I store mine laying down and it's just one less brush that I have to have. So I think people are gonna love that. Love the Morphe blush. I mean, I feel like it just brought my face to life and it added in with the lip. So absolutely loving those. The RMS is pretty, but if you have the Dior, you don't need it. If you want something that is a little more sheer and not quite as rich in terms of the pigment, more translucent than the Dior, you may like this. I think it's a great launch, but it's nothing, you know, new that we haven't seen. And the Urban Decay, I am really intrigued by this. It is very precise and it is really unique. I have to say, in today's world, you can't really come up with something new, but these brands are really impressing me. Like the One Size, the setting spray that has the bronzer in it, that is truly something new. This is something I've not seen before. Just having that marker feel, but with this angled brush, it is very, very precise, almost to the point of there's no room for error. Like you really got to get in there. But I like that this can be blended. So even after you apply it, even after 30 seconds or a minute, you can soften the lines. And a lot of these markers, you cannot do that once they lay down, like you can't move them. So I think this is really cool. I like that it is darker when you apply it, but then it does wear to a stain as well. I feel like this would be a beautiful color for like a richer, deeper skin tone. So I want to try this more and see what I think, but even after wiping it off, it was still there and I can still see it very much on my hand. So I'm thinking the longevity is going to be really, really good on that. And then a standout for me has to be the ABH lip balms. This feels like it's going nowhere, which I love. It's not sticky, it's not giving me goopy lines, but it's not sliding outside of my lip lines. I love Fizzy, and I cannot believe how much it transformed my lip. I thought that it was just gonna be like clear with a little glitter. It really brought the makeup look together, in my opinion, as best as we can, given all the stuff that we tried. So highly, highly recommend that. I feel like that's gonna be just a favorite. It's just very, very pretty. And then the setting spray, I like it. I like how direct the mister is. It really coats your skin, but it's not getting all over, and I had no droplets. It does give you a natural finish and melt your powders in, but I wanna see how it wears because it says it's supposed to wear all day, and that's where I wanna see if it really like locks things in or if it's just more of like a MAC Fix Plus. So I think that is everything for today's trying new makeup. I know I was kind of quiet. I've been, you know, going through the gigs lately. So today I just wanted to zone in, do the makeup, or zone out, do the makeup, try the makeup, and get this video up for you guys. So let me know if it was helpful and if you are going to try anything from today's video, or if you're like, that was not what I thought it was. I always love chatting in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out Midi and book your first Age Well visit. So I will have that at the top of my description box and the pinned comment if you're interested. And everything else will be linked as well. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you did enjoy this video and you want more trying new makeup videos, give this video a thumbs up. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.